Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of What's the Word? My name is Leah. I am a new host on this podcast. I'm a freshman at Embry-Riddle, and I'm super excited to be here. Today, we are interviewing Samantha Greene. Good morning, Sam. Why don't you give us a little bit of background about yourself?
Yeah. So I graduated in fall of 23. I was AE Astro and I had an electrical minor. I used to be in Delta Phi Epsilon. Now I'm an alumni. So that was a huge part of the second half of my college career, which was really important and a good spot for me to be in college.
Cool. What part of that specific sorority made it so special?
Just the community in general, especially since, you go to Riddle.
Yeah.
There aren't that many other women around. So being somewhere where you can meet other women, they may or may not be in your major, but they're kind of your default friends. It's nice to have.
Awesome. What's your current job right now?
Yeah, right now I'm an aerospace engineer for NAVAIR, so Naval Air System Command. I live out in North Carolina and I work at a Marine base for the US Marines and Navy.
Cool. What's your
Yeah.
favorite part of the job?
I really like being able to go out and touch the aircraft and talk to the actual Marines and
Mm-hmm.
machinists who work on it and get to be on and in and all over the aircrafts.
Okay, so what do you do day-to-day basis?
Day to day, I mostly sit at my desk and do tech writing, but when I get to go out, I get to go and look at all the different parts in maintenance. So I write a lot of maintenance procedures and installations, like the step by step, like do this, then this, then this. I do a lot of that.
So your whole job is just writing.
Pretty much.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's actually so cool how you're able to take the physical plane and you're able to apply all of the procedures and stuff and you're able to document it and have that physical, tangible connection between writing and the act of flying.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, do you usually just write document procedures? What
Yeah.
type of
We
writing do you
have,
usually do?
it's pretty much all procedure. I do some report writing,
Mm-hmm.
but not super frequently. I've only done like two or three in my year and a half. It's mostly just those maintenance procedures.
And so, do you usually write to the pilot or to like the mechanic and inspector?
It's mostly to the aircraft maintainers, which are all mechanics. Some of them are in the military itself, and some of them are civilians employed.
Mm-hmm.
But the pilot usually doesn't do maintenance, they usually just fly. So we'll talk to them occasionally about something that might be wrong on their aircraft, but usually what I'm writing is not for them.
Gotcha. Cool. Very nice.
Yeah.
So, was it super similar to how you learned how to write here?
Um, it's hard because it's a different style. We did a little bit of procedural writing in Capstone, but it's not really the type of technical writing you expect to see when you're in a tech writing class because you're usually writing papers, not, or like scientific papers, not step by steps. So it's a little bit different, but it's not hard to pick up because you're using all the technical information that you built up at college.
Okay, so you just build upon what you learned at Embry-Riddle and then are specifically tailoring it to your current job.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Something very different is the way that presentations are expected to be formatted. I don't know if it's like this outside of my job, but in school you're taught don't put everything on the slide, memorize everything, put it in the notes. But in the way that stuff is presented now, you're pretty much presenting on a Teams meeting and then you're sending that slide doc out. So you pretty much want everything on the presentation. And
Oh,
it feels
okay.
very, very wrong. It feels the opposite of what you should do.
That's actually really interesting because I've heard the
Yeah.
phrase death by PowerPoint where it's just words.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's just really hard to understand and read. So that does make sense why they do that. They do it for a reason. So,
Yeah.
okay. That is very interesting. That is something unique about working for the Navy versus working for a commercial company is that they'll have
Yeah.
their own idiosyncrasies and different ways of doing things.
Yeah. We do interact as well with private companies. We work with, because we don't make any of the aircraft ourselves. Well, a couple things, but the whole aircraft is designed by an outside source, usually Lockheed Martin, because that's what they do. So then we interact with their people and we see some of their documentation and their processes, and then we kind of have to translate them into ours.
So you're taking usually Lockheed's procedures, and you're just making sure that they are following the same procedures as the Navy's, or what?
It's really weird the way that it works. So they have their procedures because they do maintenance as well, like we do. They take some of our workload and they write some of our documentation for us, but they try to interpret it into how we want it, and then we take it and say, okay, this is how we actually want it.
And that's just formatting, or is that physical changing of the procedure?
It can be both. It can be, we'll go out there as well and physically see them test this stuff on the part to make sure that the documentation that they have and that we have aligns with how you're actually supposed to do it. It
Mm-hmm.
can be anything from like, oh, this should be a step or it should be a note to like, you're missing all this technical information that we need.
Cool. What was one thing that you wish you could have known before leaving Embry and transitioning into the workplace?
One thing I wish I could have known is that sometimes it does take a while to find a job. Like I wasn't employed in my engineering field for like 4 months, so I just had to keep trying and be really, really serious about applying, and that took me a minute. But once I got to industry, I think Embry-Riddle does a very good job of preparing us. You're not going to sit there and do math all day most of the time. You're going to just apply all that stuff.
So, like, how many applications did you put in? Because I know for me, Embry-Riddle makes it seem like you graduate and magically you have a job.
I applied for 250 jobs and I had 5 interviews and 1 job offer.
Dang.
So it took me quite a while. It is hard right now too because my job, I'm a federal employee, and I know that's not really open right now as a job opportunity.
Yeah. It does require hard work. That's what
Yeah.
I'm getting from it is that it's not a guarantee.
No, it's a lot of perseverance and trying really hard.
That's good to know, honestly. That it really is good to know that it directly is a correlation between the effort in and your results and success at the end.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for students currently at Embry-Riddle?
My advice would be just keep going, honestly. School definitely takes a lot, but once you're out of it, you adjust to that work life and you're like, oh, I don't have homework anymore. But it just takes a lot of effort and you just got to keep going. You'll get through it. You'll be done. You'll get a job. You just got to keep going.
Is there anything else that you would like to talk about?
Can I ask what your major is?
Sure. I am a mechanical engineering propulsion student.
Okay,
Think
you're
for
a
a
new
second.
prop. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a freshman, so I'm class of 2029.
Okay.
So do you work on an airfield? Are you at an airport?
Yes and no. There's an airport about 10 minutes from here, but so the base is called MCAS Marine Corps Air Station. So
Hmm.
it's a military base with an airport. So I can't fly out of it, but I'm surprised it hasn't happened. But you know how Embry-Riddle, you see the little planes flying over here, it's like F-35s.
Oh, dang. So it's just
Yeah.
always, it just sounds like thunder going all the time.
It gets extremely loud sometimes.
Do you have your private pilot's license?
No, I don't fly at all. I
Oh,
did I just did electrical engineering as my minor instead of flying because I'm kind of scared of flying, to be honest.
why did you pick electrical engineering?
I was always interested in the wiring perspective. If I hadn't been able to find an aerospace degree that I wanted, I would have been electrical.
Hmm.
It's just always been an interest of mine, which it's been useful here because obviously everything kind of has electronics, especially in the new wave of technology. Most aircraft are becoming mostly electronic instead of mechanical.
Okay, so
So
how does like electrical engineering tie into writing? Do you do
yeah.
diagrams or anything at all?
Oh yeah. I spent pretty much most of my day right now. I'm doing a lot of electronics work. So I was sitting looking at a lot of electrical schematics today, making sure that the procedures match what's in the diagram, that type of thing.
Cool. That makes sense. So
Yeah.
a lot of the time, are you working on your own on these types of documents, these long procedures or anything, or do you have a team that you work with?
I work on a team. We interact with each other when we need assistance, but we're not typically working together on something. Like if I have a question, I'll just turn around and ask the person next to me who's on my team and does the same work as me. But it's usually not something split between us unless they have way more knowledge and they're kind of helping me.
Okay. So you each work on your own individual documents.
Yeah.
Just reference each other for assistance if you need it.
Yeah.
Cool. That makes sense. What are you currently working on right now? I know it's for the Navy, so I'm not sure if you're allowed to tell me at all, but if you are, I'd like to know.
Right now, basically, if you have an electronic and you get a code that says a fault is wrong, right now I'm verifying like what that is, what it's supposed to do, and what the procedures to fix it are, and if those procedures are actually correct.
So I don't want to say purposely breaking the plane, but you're purposely making it have the error message so you can check to see if that's actually what's going wrong.
It's interesting because I'm just looking at all of the paper. I don't actually have any electronics with me. I'm just looking at the schematics.
Oh, cool.
Sometimes it's good to go out there and touch the plane and stuff, but sometimes they're just like sit in your chair.
You stay there.
Yeah, it can be hard too because the mechanics they have mixed opinions about engineers a lot of the time.
So how often do you get to go outside and look at the planes, hands-on, touch the planes versus just schematics?
I go out there probably once or twice a month, usually just to talk to someone in a shop. Sometimes I'll go down to the actual aircraft itself, but yeah, about once a month, 2 times a month.
Okay, cool.
I know I'm not mechanical, but I do a lot of mechanical work these days.
Like what?
I mean, I'm astro, so I'm used to working on like mission systems or like planning a mission, and then I work on helicopters.
Was that like an abrupt change? Were you like, whoa, or
Yeah, it was very different because I'm used to like, oh, electrical programming. It's like, here's this mechanical part and it's broken. Why is it broken?
that sounds right?
Yeah.
How did you get to where you are now? What did you do while you were in school that led you to the place where you are?
I mean, I kept going. I was like ready to give up a few times because it was really hard, but it helps to know a lot of other people, especially people slightly older than you, because I wasn't aware of NavAir until someone I lived with my sophomore year. She was also named Samantha, which is kind of funny. She found a job at NavAir, and then I talked to her about it because she had been having a hard time finding a job, and she's like, "Yeah, I really like it here." I applied. It was pretty easy. They're looking to hire a bunch of people. I don't work with her because she's at a different facility than me, but that's how I found out about the company itself. So it helps to know other people who have jobs and where they work.
Networking is a big skill.
Yeah, I did for the last 2.5 years. I went to Embry-Riddle. I worked at the Starbucks in the library, and that helped know a lot of people.
Oh, okay. So just making a dedicated effort to talk to people and getting to know people.
Yeah.
That's a really cool piece of advice, actually. That's good to know. I'll try to implement that. Thank you so much, Sam, for joining me on this interview podcast.
Nice to meet you.
It was nice to meet you too.
This podcast is supported by the Department of Humanities and Communication at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in Prescott, Arizona. Our hosts and producers are Owen Smith and Leah Little. I'm Amelia Chesley, Assistant Professor of Professional Writing. Many thanks to the Prescott Campus Writing and Design Lab for hosting our transcripts. The intro and outro music is Wanderer by Alex. You can find us where most podcasts are found. And if you are a Prescott Campus alum, please reach out so we can feature you in a future episode.